They're literally flying from China, Indonesia, Vietnam to be with you, to meet you
Africa.
and talk. Yes, and talk to you. So this is the time to take advantage of that. Touch and feel the product, look at the construction, and walk to the guy right next door, because if you're not finding it in one booth, it's probably in the one next to it.
Do you have a brilliant product idea but don't know where to start to get it made? Or are you looking to level up your product but afraid to take it overseas?
If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Erin, and we are
The Sourcing Gals.
your trusted guides to everything you need to know about sourcing, manufacturing, and scaling your product overseas. Whether you are just starting out or you've been making your own product for a while, we are here to help women source products overseas without the overwhelm.
In each episode, we'll share insider tips, actionable strategies, and inspiring stories to help you source more effectively, save time, and boost your profits. Duh! We know how hard it can be to juggle the ins and outs of product development, but don't worry, we've got your back.
So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into how you can grow your business
Make more money.
and turn your products into profit. Welcome to
The Sourcing Gals. Now let's get started. High five.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of
The Sourcing Gals.
We are coming to you live.
From Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas. How many times have we sang that song since we've been here? Not enough, I actually think.
Not enough.
We did a lot
I was
before
the,
coming
"Hey,
here."
baby, let's go to Vegas. They know.
You know,
Old school.
yeah, that's old.
You'll know this is a unique show because we're sitting on opposite sides.
Oh, yeah, this is weird. And the backgrounds of some woman that we don't really know who, but,
That's great.
you know, props to her.
We're having a good time.
So we are in our hotel room coming to you, like we said, from Vegas because we just had a magical day.
Magic being the key word.
True. I wasn't even meaning to make a pun on that.
I didn't think you did, but then I was like, wow.
So we were actually here at a show called Magic. Now, no, it is not about magicians and all the things that my
As-
husband still is like, wait, why is it called Magic? And I said, I have no fucking clue.
As much as that
Well-
disappoints my husband that I wasn't at an actual magic show, it is a trade show, an industry trade show for fashion and sourcing, and it is called Magic.
So basically, if you're a boutique owner and you have a store or an e-commerce business, you would come to Magic and you would buy for your line. You'd buy for your store, your e-commerce brand. There's a million brands that are showing labels that you wear every day. They have these pop-ups and you walk around. But the secret thing that happens behind the scenes of Magic is there's actually a whole sourcing floor.
And I think it's something that a lot of people don't know about, even folks who are in our industry, in our business. They think, oh, there's no use going to this trade show because I don't have a boutique. I have my own product. But yet we saw so many amazing booths at the sourcing side of the show full of products that are like just begging for someone to make them.
I know. And it's so funny also because we've worked at corporate for so many years and a lot of the big corporations also don't go there. And it's such a miss. So the last 8 years that I was with my manufacturing company, I went twice a year. The show happens in August and in February. And that is how we built the businesses that we have, the relationships that we have, the products that we had. It is purely because of Magic.
You know what I think is so interesting about that is that a lot of the factories that I worked with in my big corporate days would come to Magic. They would go there, they would have booths, they would show all of their things, and it would have been an amazing opportunity to go there and meet with them in person and just hammer out some work, but we just didn't go.
I know it's not how you did it. I mean, so our point of saying all this is that it is a phenomenal trade show. It's called Sourcing at Magic. So you'll see, you know, also in the theme of magic, sourcing, sorcery, right? All the things just kind of all fits into one. But truly, it is a show like none other. It is my favorite sourcing show that you can attend. I've been to quite a lot throughout the year, but Sourcing at Magic in Las Vegas is by far the best. There are, gosh, 1,000, would you say 1,000 vendors there? Probably. I mean,
Probably more.
I mean, it is booth after 10-foot booth showcasing countries from Egypt to Bangladesh to China to made in the USA and truly every category you can think of. Accessories, apparel, from
Footwear.
footwear. I mean, the footwear is actually insane, the amount of footwear they have. And literally these are vendors that you can go walk up to the booth, touch and feel the product, and literally right then negotiate your next item.
Yes.
Ask them for their minimum order quantities. That was one of our purposes of coming here to the show. We actually were speaking on both the magic education stage and on the sourcing education stage.
Yes.
And it was incredible.
It was an incredible day. We didn't just come as buyers. We didn't just
Yep.
come to walk the booths. We really came to share the Sourcing Gals knowledge with the people who are doing this, the people who are coming, they're talking to vendors, they're working out what their next product's going to look like. And we met some incredible people.
Yeah, people that were at all different stages of their development journey, especially on the sourcing side. We spoke this morning and it was so cool to look out and see like so many people nodding their heads, taking
Right.
notes, taking pictures of our presentation. And then after the fact, and we had a bunch of people ask wonderful questions also at the end.
Really
And
fantastic.
then wait in line to speak with us and try to, telling us about their amazing product ideas, whether they were still in concept, whether they're already sourcing and trying to determine if they should start that next factory relationship. I mean, they were all along the board, all across the journey. And it was just interesting, some of the things they were telling me. Like one of the recurring themes I kept hearing was just that they're nervous. Like they're scared. Am I allowed? Do I really go talk to the vendor? And then do I show them my designs? And I said, if you like what they are showing you, yes, like you are there face to face. I
Yes.
said, these vendors do not come here and pay to show at Magic to knock you off.
No, they don't. And it's a huge miss. If you utilize this time together in a booth, looking at the product to not make progress on your idea, it's a miss.
Yeah. So I just kept telling them, no, these factories have been vetted. They're vetted by Magic and sourcing before they're even allowed to show. They pay a lot of money. They're flying across the country. They're literally flying from China, Indonesia, Vietnam to be with you, to meet you
Africa.
and talk. Yes. And talk to you. So this is the time to take advantage of that. Touch and feel the product, look at the construction and walk to the guy right next door. Because if you're not finding it in one booth, it's probably in the one next to it.
Absolutely. And that's just such a big part of what I think might overwhelm people is there's a lot to see. A lot of the booths have similar things, but they're like kind of different. You know, you might see a sportswear brand that does men's like golf polos that have quirky prints. And then the one right next door will have men's golf polos, but it will be much more minimalist and like sharp and sleek. So you're seeing all these things right next to each other and it could overwhelm. But I think that was really one of our reasons for coming and talking people through the process. Even though they're already sourcing, even though they're already there were still so many blank spaces in the journey that really, I think even Jackie and I, even you and I, we were surprised to hear some of the hesitations or questions people still have.
Yeah. And I think a few of the other ones were about the quality, right? So they're like, I have an idea of what I want in my head. Do I need to find a factory that exactly matches that? And I'm like, well, kind of. Like what I would say is you want a factory that's working at your quality level or above. I don't suggest finding a factory that is subpar in quality and expecting that, well, they can source a better fabric for me. Well, they can make the construction better. It's not worth it. Find the factory that's meeting you where you're at or where you want to be or better, and then work with that.
And you can mesh two things together in one booth. And, you know, if you see the fabric quality you love over here, but you see it shape and stitching and detail quality you love over here, they obviously are capable of both. So that's why coming to the booths and seeing everything and touching and feeling it and looking at it with your eyes in person can just leapfrog you to the next stage of development.
100%. I mean, we were walking with a customer literally on the floor while we were here, and we were able to point to the item, touch and feel it, pull it down, sit and talk with the manufacturer, say, what is your minimum? It was 150 units
Wow.
to make this soft modal quarter zip jacket. And she actually could choose the color at 150 units and they would deliver it right to her doorstep. So these vendors, especially at these types of trade shows, they know that they're not necessarily going to see a Walmart buyer walking the floor.
Right.
They know it's going to be boutique owners, product-based owners, influencers, people that are just starting out. And so they come here knowing their minimums are going to be lower and they're going to have to be flexible, but they're looking for new brands to start, work, and then grow with.
One of the valuable things as well is that they have color cards, they have swatches, they have everything there. So if you pick something you like, just like we were talking about earlier today with the client at the booth, is that I love this. Okay, well, we also can do it in this fabric, this fabric, this fabric. The zipper can look like this. The pool can look like this. And so you can piece together exactly what you like. They'll put it into a sample, get your sample in 3 weeks, and you've just made 3 months worth of progress.
100%. And they'll quote you right there. I mean, they were giving me pricing. I was saying, hey, what's the cost for 150 units at this, at this? And they just, use their calculator where they pull it out. They look up in their line sheet, or if it's really the owner that you're talking to or the head salesperson, they just know. They have a good gut feeling of like roughly how much. I'm like, give me an estimate to start with. So they were
I
literally
love when we spoke to your friend, she just looked right at the piece and was like, $250.
Yep. $2, and that's $2.50 we're talking about
Yeah.
for something that we were showing her. So, and again, it's fun when you start to build these relationships, and then I'm going back and they're seeing me and they're running to give me a hug, right? And it's so fun. So these are factories that I've worked with, and I met again on a whim at Magic. That one time I came because I needed XYZ, and now they've built into long-lasting relationships. And those vendors that you've been in business with for the long haul, they're willing to ebb and flex for you and be your partner throughout your journey. So
Well, let's talk about some of the other questions that we got from folks in the audience, because those people are very likely in the same boat as people who are listening to our podcast.
yeah.
But it was, like you said earlier, it was a wide range of people who are at every stage of development. But we got some really good questions from people. Is there one that pops out at you?
Well, the one I already mentioned was really a woman had been running this product-based business for over 3 years, and she enjoyed her supplier. She was happy with him. She said, but I really need another manufacturer. Like, I know I need to start having a backup and bringing new products in other ways. And so diversifying her product, her manufacturing footprint, basically. And so she said, so I have some samples with me. Is it okay for me to show them to these new factories? And I said, if you are liking what they are showing, if the quality is matching what you're currently using and you feel like there's a good fit, then absolutely.
So she was worried about her intellectual property of her
Getting stolen. Yes. And so I said, well, is there anything patented or super innovative? She's like, no, not really. I said, okay, so here's my point that I'm reiterating. These people have flown across the country to come here and build relationships. They're not coming across here to take your idea and go knock it off. It just isn't the relationship that they're going to have. Now, if you have a highly innovative product with a patent, like, okay, maybe this isn't the place you're just going to like whip it out and just be like, hey, take a look at this, right? Like, yeah, you might want to sign an NDA in for things like that. But it was really more about if you have an opportunity to be face to face with a potential factory partner and you can show them the construction of your garments, the fabrication, the details. These are the call outs that I need to make sure you can handle. This is the time to have those conversations. So don't be fearful of them maybe taking your one, children's design and knocking it off. This is more about like making sure this is the right partner for you and moving forward. And even one of the questions at the end of our presentation, a woman asked about that too. Like, do you sign NDAs and how do you protect your designs? And my point to her was, if you're vetting new factories, use an old tech pack. Use an old design from last year that's already been sold and made. So it's not, again, highly coveted, highly secretive. Or we talked about
if you're brand new, you might want to send like just a little one pager of an example of what you're trying to make, an example of the type of fabric you're looking for, an example of any like very specific workmanship that you're interested in. So the factory can really get a snapshot of what you're trying to achieve without having to share your exact design.
Exactly. And then once you get through a place where you're like, wow, the cost aligns, wow, the quality aligns. Okay, then have them sign an NDA just for the sake of doing it. And then you can even send them a tech pack with taking out your labels and taking out, some of your prints, your custom designs. But at some point, you're going to have to cross that barrier of trust. So it's taking some small steps to start and getting that. We call it the vibe check. We said it multiple times today. Like, you got to have a vibe check. You got to make sure that you're really feeling like you and this vendor are aligned. And then, at some point you got to just go for it.
And I think that you can honestly tell when you're looking in someone's booth, how innovative is their product? Are they knocking off everyone and their brother? No, they're probably not.
Yeah.
There's not really anything in it for them also.
That's what I said.
So,
they're
like,
not
gonna do?
They're not brand builders. The point is, have these conversations, start the conversations, get a vibe check the quality. If all these stars are aligning, another woman came up to me and said, I think I found the supplier. They have the quality I want. They deliver full service to me. It goes DDP right to my door. And I was like, so what are you scared about? She's like, I don't know. I just don't know. And I was like, that's okay. But you are here in person right now at this moment. take advantage of every single second you can have with them.
Take that next step.
Take that next step, go for it, and just start the conversation. Because she had since flip flopped. She said to 3 different factories so far,
Oh, okay.
and not found what she wanted. I'm like, if you found what you wanted and it's aligning, like that might be the universe actually like throwing you a bone right now.
Absolutely. And again, take that first step. No decision's final. Take that 1st
Mhm.
step, move down the path. If it doesn't end up aligning, it's fine.
Yeah. Yep.
It's okay. But what are you losing from never taking that step? A whole lot.
That's correct.
One of the guys who came up to me after our presentation asked me specifically about tariffs and specifically about the volatility of them. Like one day they might be 20%, one day they might be 65, the next day they might be 10. Like that scared him. And what my recommendation was to him was work LDP with your vendor. The volatility when they're charging tariffs, when they're charging your duty on a smaller amount because it's their cost, 20% of 250 and versus 45% of 250 is much different than that same percentage of a higher number.
Correct.
So when they do ship your product LDP landed, then the volatility for them is a much smaller swing, and they're usually willing to take that risk for you.
I think we talked again. We had a lot of good nuggets and people just again nodding heads, taking notes, taking pictures, and I think it just reiterates, why we created this course. Like we were staring at 50 people that were like, you could just tell
Oh, yeah.
in need of real information because none of them were from the industry.
Oh, and that is so funny because one of the men who spoke to me after, he asked me a question. He said, I don't have a question necessarily about sourcing. It's about mindset. And I was like,
Mm.
ooh, so interesting. You hit me.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he is a big picture guy. He's a sales guy. He's energetic. He's out there. Like he can be the storyteller. He can be the face of his brand. But when it comes to the details of the cost and what the percentage of this is versus that and the dates, that isn't his wheelhouse. And so I talked to him a lot about how in our course, we give so many of those calculators away for free
Mhm.
because it isn't a lot of people's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It really is something that, I was like, please let us build these tools for you. You
Yeah.
can use the tools.
Yep.
We'll teach you how to use them, but you don't have to build them.
Correct.
So it was such an interesting talk because we come at it from all this experience. I come at it from a very analytical execution side. You are actually more like outgoing and sales, and you can tell a story all day long. And I did talk to him about how we have that personality difference as well. Obviously, you can still like whip up a cost sheet with
I
the
mean, if
best
I
of them.
need to, yes, I
Um,
will. But
But anyway, we know that founders are coming to us from all different backgrounds. We have folks who come to us from like a nursing background
yes.
who have an idea they want to create because it helps a problem. And we talk about that a lot. So it was really interesting. I got to talk to him about some of those tools we have and how they could really help out someone who maybe isn't as analytical as another person.
Yeah, and a few people are already in mid journey, mid product development journey, and they're like, "Dang, like, I wish I would have known this when I started." But it's like, okay, it's now right? Now you know for future. So there was
Yep.
quite a lot of questions about, when do I go to that next factory? When do I ask these questions? So I think again, I go back to the course, like it really can work for people at all stages of their product journey, especially if you haven't grown up in this business, in this
Yeah.
industry. Like there are nuggets that you will take from it.
Was it Maya Angelou who said, once you know better, do better?
Mm.
I don't think she was talking about sourcing, but I do think it makes sense because once you, at any point in your journey, when you learn that there is this unlock available to you, like, let's do it.
Well, and I also just want to say, I want to toot our own horn because literally, I don't know, what was it 4 months ago? Is that
This-
really it?
To say it out loud, it sounds
I think, is it 4 months?
wild. It was 4 months.
We said, wouldn't
May,
it be
June,
cool?
July, August. Yeah, 4 months.
Wouldn't it be cool if we launched some coursework and made it to the Magic stage to present on the sourcing side and Magic side, to be honest, to help people that we know need it?
I remember us talking about it on the whiteboard, and us being like, well, maybe in 2026. And then I was like, no, this year in August. And we were like, that is in 4 months. And we were like, you know what? I think we should do it.
And it's crazy that we're sitting here after presenting on the stage at Magic with a full blown coursework that we've already beta rounded, by the way.
Yes.
And like we did it.
Shout out to our ambassadors.
Yes, we love our ambassadors. Thanks for those that worked through that first round of coursework with us. We really, really appreciate you. But yeah, but we did it. And, Erin and I were at one point hoping for more of a soft girl summer, but we said, you know what? This just wasn't it. This was a hard girl summer. We were working multiple businesses,
Yes.
launching a course, and getting this all together. But you know what? There's no one else I'd rather do it with than
Oh,
you.
that's so sweet. Thank
And
you. Likewise.
I'm just so proud of us. And I think it just tells, hopefully, this inspires other people. Like, if you have a big
Dream.
task at hand, a dream, like I actually say shortening your timeline makes you get done a lot faster.
It sure does, because I think we were scared with our timeline.
100%. But it makes you make different decisions knowing that we had this impending presentation, that we had this impending deadline that we were trying to hit. Like, it makes you make
Super serious.
super serious, faster decisions and just like freaking go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And we
did it.
learned and we did it. So high five. Go us.
Go us.
So yeah, I mean, it's just cool. I've been an attendee here at the show for like 7 years. And so to actually be on stage now, and I was proud of myself. Like, I didn't feel like an imposter. I mean, Bailey was talking about that. I think she was like, we know our shit.
Do our listeners know who Bailey is?
Oh, maybe not. Hey, Bailey, pop your head in here on the YouTube. So Bailey is my marketing manager and all things. I mean, I don't know. Basically, she does everything that you see me do. Aside from what comes out of my mouth, any other content is coming from Bailey. And she also helps us with the sourcing gals. But I mean, it was very cool to actually feel my power and be like, okay, I do know what I'm talking about. I have been to this show and I've been in manufacturing and sourcing for 20 plus years. And now I have the opportunity to truly go educate others. And I don't need to feel like a fraud doing it.
Absolutely. I was talking to Bailey about that actually when we were going up the escalator yesterday, because I've spoken at conferences before, and some I've been just cool as a cucumber, and some I've been very nervous. And I found the ones that I was very nervous about, it was a subject matter that I wasn't 100% on. Like, I knew enough about, but I wasn't the expert in the room by any means. And in this case, we were the experts in the room. And so like, there were no nerves, because I was like, I mean, we can take any question that comes at us.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. And it was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun. So anyways, I'm just proud of us. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Proud of you.
You put a lot of work into this course. Let me tell you, while we were busy working on other things, Erin was kicking ass and taking names to build this course out. So we're very excited about getting this course live and out in the universe. And just to start helping more people launch product-based businesses and save you time and money and headache. And we're going to continue to do the podcast. I'm also proud of us for that. I mentioned in the last episode a while ago that we are on episode like 20 something now recording, which is wild.
27.
I'm really proud of us for that also. So sorry, I'm just giving ourselves props on this one. This is just about like self accolades here.
I also want to go back, because we had done a whole podcast episode on the course when we were launching the beta round, when we were doing the ambassador round.
Yes.
And we got 12 amazing people, and we just had a really fun summer going through the course with everyone. But we had not told the rest of our listeners that we were going to be relaunching it, because we launched it to our ambassadors and then we took it down so that we could just work with those 12 people and we could really hone in on all the details of the course, make sure everyone had what they needed. We had feedback on like one of the calculators. Someone said, oh, it works like this for me, but I would love if it worked like this. So we like tweaked that. And it was a really informative session with them. So we put all of that work back into it, and then it relaunches today.
Yeah.
It relaunched.
So exciting.
We're going to start talking about that on social. We'll give the links. You guys will have all that information. And we'll put it in the show notes. But it relaunched as of this morning.
Amazing. So yeah. I mean, I think it's time for like a hard cocktail.
I mean, guys, when I say that we left home yesterday morning at we woke up at 4 a.m.
Yep.
We got on a flight to Vegas. We flew 4 hours. We came here. We hit the ground running. We put our bags in storage. We went to the convention. We walked all around. We came back. We hit it with the course, practiced our speeches, all of this stuff. Woke up, did 2 rounds of presentations, And we have not gotten wild at all.
No. So tonight's the night.
Can't
Tonight's the
wait.
night. So we are going to turn it up, have some fun, let loose. But thank you guys all. Oh, I will say that someone at Magic also came up to me and said, I don't know how I found your podcast, but I did. But it's like my favorite thing I listen to. And tell me
Yeah.
I forgot. I just remembered right now. And
That's
so,
exciting.
and like total stranger, no one in Columbus, like just total strangers. Like, I don't know how I came across you, but I did. And I listened to you and I love it. And she's the one that's been through 3 manufacturers and now on her 4th. And
Aw.
so, yeah, so it's just
Well,
really
as a new podcaster, that warmed my heart.
I know.
Because, we're not just talking into the void.
Yeah. No. So appreciate all of you guys that are tuning in
Yes, we
and
do.
listening to us cackle and babble. And hopefully we give you some good knowledge bombs as well in between there. But really appreciate it. We're excited to build this community further and keep expanding our reach and helping more product-based businesses launch successfully with margin in your pocket.
It's just truly our passion. So we are so thrilled to be here doing this, speaking with people, and bringing everyone who wants to come along for the ride.
You're all invited. So I think we're going to go turn one loose. You say turn one loose, turn it on. What do you say? Let loose? I don't know.
Turn down for what?
I don't know. Anyways, we're going to go get a cocktail, some food, and then hit some tables.
Can't wait.
Awesome. So thank you guys for listening. And until next time on
The Sourcing Gals.